Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I did have a lot of requests on our third part to the Haunted Museum, so I thought today I would bust this video out before I go to my in-laws' house, so let's get to it. Guys, we went and did the haunted flashlight tour on a Friday night. It was the latest one. I believe it was 11:30 p.m. Amazing. If he offers them next year, I definitely recommend everybody book it. It is by far the most amazing experience ever, and I cannot wait to go back. I stayed on this trip this time because, as I told you in the previous video, I was not about Fremont Street. It was dirty, it was gross, it was just not for me. So we arrive at the museum, and before we even get in line to go stand, there's already commotion everywhere. The security guards are like, oh my gosh, they are listening to this inside, or oh my gosh, they got this name inside. So they were giving us some tips to ask in the freak show room about a little girl. They said there was a little girl there. So they had thought that they got two possible names. So they told us, hey, use this in your investigation to kind of see if anything works out. Pebbles were getting thrown at us there. There's strange cats walking around. It's just like an eerie feeling being on that property at nighttime anyways. It's completely different than being there like earlier in the tours. Because we've done a late afternoon tour and we did the noon tour that same day. But nighttime is just creepy. It's just way creepy. So it's time to go in, and they're going to give us our equipment. We get a spirit box, a K2 meter, and we were allowed to bring in a voice recorder. My cousin was the one who brought in the voice recorder, yet he hasn't reviewed any evidence, which I'm like, hello, just update it, upload it, give it to me. Hello. So we get all that information. We have to go watch a movie from Zach Bagans. He has a recorded message, and it's just kind of like, don't provoke in his museum, don't be disrespectful, don't touch anything, so on, which is just normal. You shouldn't do any of that anyways. So watching this video, there was a girl in the parking lot waiting with us who I already knew was going to be a problem in the museum because she thought she knew everything. She was this high, big investigator. She's not scared of anything, blah, blah, blah. So the whole time I was just thinking of that girl. So first we go to the freak show room because I did watch the quarantine episode and I did see that Aaron got the voices in there. So I wanted to see. There wasn't really anything in there. They said the little girl was in there, but we didn't feel anything. So we didn't want to waste too much time there, so we ended up going upstairs because they limited the basement and the Dybbuk box room to only 10 minutes per person, so I wanted to get in line for that. There was somebody in that room when we went upstairs, so we went ahead and went to Peggy's room. Peggy's room wasn't really active for us during any of the time we was there. The only thing we got out of her for the flashlight tour was that her favorite color was red, but besides that, nothing else. Nothing else came through with her. We wasn't getting any hits on the K2 meter, like nothing was happening. So they're not lying when they tell you to take the tour before, and thank gosh my brother did take the tour before because it is pitch dark. It is so dark in there. You can't see anything. So you're kind of just like guided from what you can see. Like it's dark. So you guys, I got my biggest experience on our flashlight tour at the museum, and it was in the Dybbuk box room. So we walked into the Dybbuk box room and our spirit box was already saying God. I was looking around. I feel like the Dybbuk box doors are even opening more, and it's already creepy that the salt just kind of moved. It was a really odd feeling in there at nighttime. So I'm going around the Dybbuk box room and I'm trying to like peek inside. Like I'm looking at the glass, and it feels like if a child has grabbed onto my leg and is sitting on my leg with like its hands wrapped around my thighs. My leg got instantly heavy. It was super cold. I was trying to like shake it off thinking, what is going on? But it literally felt like, you know, when a kid wants to sit on your leg. I couldn't shake the feeling in there. We were getting things. It just got super cold next to me right here. It is like probably 10 degrees colder right here. Okay, go away. Okay, so I felt like something was sitting on my leg. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't stand the feeling anymore. It was horrible. So we didn't even spend the whole 10 minutes in that room. I had to go. It was the weirdest feeling. It is seriously like freezing cold. I have no idea. Anyways, we couldn't even stay in the room the full 10 minutes. It was just not going to happen. I was so uncomfortable. The feeling even lasted a little while after. So we kind of stayed upstairs for a little bit. We did go into the decapitated head room, which I did tell you guys before. That room is very bad for me. I get immediately sick. I can't even handle it. It's the worst feeling in the world. We did go through Peggy's again. We ended up going 3 times through Peggy because we just wanted to see if we would get anything else. The third time we went through, my cousin did forget to tell her goodbye. A lot of it was just saying Peggy throughout the night, so I think that had something to do with it. We decided to go down into the clown room because I don't know if you guys have watched the episode of Quarantine when they had seen the spirit go into the clown. There's really nothing haunted in the clown area. It's just like clowns. I don't like the clown area because I am deathly terrified of clowns. He's got some realistic looking clowns in there, so it's really creepy. So we wasn't really expecting to get anything in the clown room, but we're walking down the hallway. Next thing you know, our spirit box, we had our spirit box on. It says the one in the middle. So we're like, which one in the middle? So we're kind of walking, and my brother, there's like a line of realistic clowns, and my brother's just like, are you real? Hello? Hello, are you real? Who's talking? Then it says the one in the back. So then we're like, okay, well, we're in the middle and my brother's in the back. So which one? So in a row, my brother, my cousin, and myself end up getting touched like right after one another in that room. So we're like, okay, we're getting some activity. It's kind of weird, but we're getting some activity, so let's just stay here. It ended up getting quiet, but I feel that that clown area was very active. We investigated the upstairs quite a bit. Besides the big box room, the clown room, nothing really up there was too terrifying. So we decided to make our way downstairs into the other room. So I told you guys previously that the demon room scares me a lot. And when I say a lot, it's because I feel like so comfortable in that room. I feel like I'm home in my living room and it scares me. So we go downstairs first and we go in the Titanic room. I wanted to see, we did get a few spikes on the K2 meter, but nothing really else, nothing on the spirit box. So we decided to go over to the next room, into the demon house room. So as we're going in the demon box room, you know, like in the movies when somebody closes the door, but it's like that. Okay. So that's how my cousin was starting to close the door. We all go in there. Everything's already open. It's not like when you take the tour. And my cousin's like slowly closing the door. And I was like, stop. Okay, just stop. I don't think I want the door closed in here. Let's not go in here. And the spirit box tells me chicken. Like me? I'm a chicken? I'm a chicken? Okay. So then I was even more terrified that this thing just called me a chicken because I didn't want the door closed. But you know, I just felt so comfortable in that room and it was horrible. It was a horrible feeling. We wasn't getting much in there anymore, so we decided to leave after a little while. We was getting some hits on the K2 meter, but I think that was on the wall because we could kind of follow it. And they did have a K2 puck in there, but it didn't go off at all. So right across there, we decided we was going to go back into the clown area. There's like a little hallway that goes back into the freak show room. We didn't get anything in that clown room, so we decided to leave. We didn't want to waste too much time because we only had 45 minutes per side. So as I told you before, my husband is kind of a skeptic. I don't know how, because his house in California is haunted and he grew up in that room. I don't understand how he could be a skeptic at all. So we go into the devil rocking chair room. We close the door. We have the spirit box on. Nothing is coming through. We're getting no hits. I'm like, ugh, we were about to leave. So finally I'm asking questions. Like, hey, what is your name? What is your favorite color? Where did you come from? Nothing. Nothing was coming through. So finally I'm like, do you know one of our names? And immediately after, the spirit box says, Rick. My husband's name is Ricardo and he goes by Rick. So that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence that we get no other responses and that thing says Rick. So I tell him, do you believe me now? Like, do you believe me now? And earlier that day, I already had an issue in that room. I still have right here. So earlier that day, we went into the museum. As I told you guys in the previous video, we did a tour for my brother. I immediately walked in that room and felt like somebody burned me or stabbed me. And that mark hasn't gone away. That is the same mark from the museum and it's still there. It was so bad. I was like rubbing my arm. I actually walked out of the room to try and find some sort of light to look because it was horrible. It was the worst feeling. And the mark is still there and it hasn't gone away. I mean, you can see it. It's still there. So it was crazy that it said my husband's name in that room when I actually got like burned or stabbed earlier in that tour. 45 minutes is up. They blow the horn. It's time to switch sides. So I told you guys before that I have a really strong connection with Gretchen and I wanted to go back to the doll room, like priority. So that's the first place we went. We switched sides. We went to the doll room. that boy doll again on this left side is so active. He was active during our tours and he was active again at night. We wasn't getting much on the spirit box, but we was getting a few hits on the K2, especially by the Raggedy Ann dolls, and a lot over by that boy doll again. He's like right here when you walk in. So we're in there for a little bit. Still, this connection with Gretchen, man. It's like she draws you in. It's the eyes. She's so alive. I don't even know how to explain it. They had told us that the Bonnie and Clyde tackle box was really active with the previous tour. So we went in there because obviously we knew where they had put it. We just took the tour earlier. We weren't getting anything in that room, anything in any of the rooms. So I decided I wanted to go try the doctor's office because as earlier in the tour I didn't feel too well in there. I thought, let's try this. So I felt nothing in the doctor's office. We sat in there for a little bit. We talked for a little bit. Nothing was in there. So we made our way into where his van is. And that's when things got real. So we were walking around the van trying to get K2 spikes, reading things on the wall, asking questions. We weren't getting anything. So then we were asking if there was any patients or victims there. And it said a name. I think the name is Patricia. I don't remember the name, but I had remembered earlier in the tour because I had already been there, so I was just looking around. There was a plaque in the corner of a lady who was one of the patients or victims, whichever you would like to say, in the museum. So when that name came through the spirit box, like, hold up, that name is familiar. So we started looking along the wall to see if any of the names were there. It was that lady in the corner. It was her name. Maybe it's Jackie. It's like Patricia or Jackie. I can't remember the name that came through, but it was the lady in the wall. So my cousin's over there reading it because she, it has information stuff on it. And I'm like so amazed, like, oh my gosh, that's the lady that's in the plaque. It just said its name. As I'm saying that, I see something white from the back of her head. So she's facing the wall and I'm facing her. And I see an orb shoot out of her head and into the ceiling. I kind of froze for a second. And then I was like, Yvette, an orb just flew out of the back of your head. She was like, what? There was no debunking that. I know what I seen. That was the same shit I seen outside during our first visit to the tour. It was the same exact thing. So after we investigate that in the serial killer room and just like the study and things like that, we decided it's time to go into the basement. My cousins were really dreading going into the basement. So it's time to go in the basement. There wasn't like anybody down there, which I thought was so weird. I thought everybody was going to want to go down into the basement. But we were like, just walking right in. So we're going down the stairs and we automatically start hearing things in the hallway. Like, it's way different at nighttime. The whole place is just different at nighttime. You have to go. You have to experience it. So we're walking down the hallway and I am telling everybody, hey, there is a pentagram on the floor down there. Don't step on it. Like, walk around it, but don't step in the middle. My brother just walks through. Even though I've told him multiple times, you live with me. Don't be bringing any of that bad juju home with me. But he walks through. So we're just kind of down there in the room. We're doing the spirit box. And I told you to remember something from the previous videos. So if you don't remember, go back and watch that video. So we're getting things like random words through the spirit box, but then it starts saying things like rosaries. My cousins are wearing rosaries. So I thought maybe that was like protecting and bouncing something off. Wow, we're just getting like random voices. Nothing is coming through a lot. My cousin's asking like, did you die down here? Were you part of the human sacrifices? Was the gun found on the property? Something that was used in your murder, because there was now confirmed human sacrifices in the building. And they did say that they found a gun buried during like construction. We wasn't getting anything through. So we decided, okay, our 10 minutes is almost up. Let's go. And the moment we start to walk away, it says stop. It did. It said stop. Then we start to walking away and it says don't go. And that's when I decided it's time to go. Having the tour guide earlier tell me that if it tells you to leave and get out, it's a good sign. And if it tells you to stay, it's a bad sign. We're now there and it's like 1 a.m. and it's telling us to stay. No, thank you. I'm out. So we make our way. And as we're making our way, we're hearing like what sounds like pebbles dropping in the hallway. It's a weird feeling and we're like, we got to get out of here. So we're just investigating a little bit more upstairs after we're done with that. And I decided I want to go back to see Gretchen. So when we went back to see Gretchen, that lady I told you in the parking lot that was going to be a problem was a problem. She was in the doll room screaming at the dolls. I demand you to tell me your name. Do you like being here with Zach? Do you like Zach being your owner? I demand you to tell me these things. She was like yelling at the dolls. And I was like, what is she doing? Like, I would never be that disrespectful. Never. After a while, I'm like, I want to go back there. So I'm just going to push her out. So I go there and I just make sure she hears me and knows I'm waiting. So they get out. Whatever she did amplified that room and those dolls so much. Not only was that boy still up and popping alive, going off on the K2 meter, Gretchen is over there saying, sleep tight, sweet dreams, hope you sleep well tonight. Like, what the hell? And all I'm thinking in my head is, what is she gonna do to our sleep? Oh my gosh. A lot of the dolls were very active. That room was very active and it was very talkative. So I think she done pissed something off. She went off the deep end. Something happened where that room was active. So we sit in there and Gretchen really just kept telling us, good night, sleep tight, sweet dreams, hope you sleep well tonight. In a very sarcastic voice that I was like, you know, I'm not going to be around this negative stuff. So have a good night. And I said good night. And that was that. I will tell you, it was the most amazing experience ever. I would most definitely pay the $200 a ticket to go again. I feel like every tour I've gone, something has happened different. Everything has just been different every time we've gone. So why would an investigation be any different? I feel like the more people go in there and investigate, the more activity is going to rile up and you'll be able to get a lot more experiences. Our first visit, a security guard did tell me about things that happened to him after he left the museum or after he was gone home or things that have followed him home. He did say that the museum will leave you a gift. My gift, unfortunately, has been reoccurring dreams that I am in Zach Bagans' haunted museum, and I am trying to get to Gretchen's room, and I can't get to her. I have the same reoccurring dream 4 to 5 times a week. I am running down that hallway in the museum trying to get to Gretchen's room, and I'm stopped. I can't get to her. When I tell you I have a connection with Gretchen, it's a little bit more serious than I thought. I will most definitely visit the museum again, and I expect every single one of you who watch this, who are contemplating on going, to go. Book that ticket. I hope he does the haunted flashlight tours again next year, and if he does, book one. It is the most amazing experience you'll ever experience. That is my experience of the museum all 3 times I went. If you do have questions, leave them down in the comments. I know I probably missed some things. It has been since October since I've gone, and there's been a lot going on in my life. So there's probably some things I did miss, but we did get a lot of activity, more than I was expecting to get during those tours. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching again. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I appreciate you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.